I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. It's been a little while, but with my first topic, as I make my return, it's a pretty intriguing one. I'm making my response to Tom Brady's quote that ESPN just released. And that is what he said to Julian Edelman in 2013. And I quote, I ain't going for Montana. I'm going for Jordan. He is trying to say that he knew he was going to be the greatest quarterback of all time, but he wants to be known as the greatest athlete of all time. Listen, I respect the hell out of it. I do. But at the end of the day, Tom Brady is never going to be among the GOAT of athletes and surpass Michael Jordan in this case. He doesn't really have a case, to be quite honest with you. And I know there are tons of Tom Brady fans out there who love Tom Brady way more than Giselle does. And that's really the sad truth of the situation. But there's a few reasons why Tom Brady has little to no case in this particular topic. Of course, Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time and probably the greatest football player of all time. And let me add that you can make a very good case that Lawrence Taylor is the greatest football player of all time. But let me make this easy and give Tom Brady the nod. He's the greatest football player of all time. All right. But there's a few reasons why I cannot say he's greater than Michael Jordan at their respective sports. Number one, Tom Brady's longevity, sure, that is, he has the greatest longevity stretch in the history of sports, if you're going to ask me, right? 22 years, he's basically been in his prime his entire year, and he's still in his prime right now, if you're going to ask me. He is not slowing down one bit. But throughout his career, how long can we really say, for a consistent stretch, has Tom Brady been the best quarterback in the NFL? Because in the late 2000s, year in, year out, some years it was Tom Brady, some years it was Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning had a stretch where he was the best quarterback in the NFL. And this is a year-to-year thing that changed. What about in the early 2010s? Aaron Rodgers had his share of being the best quarterback in the NFL. Peyton Manning retook that back in 2013 when he threw 55 touchdowns, breaking Tom Brady's single-season touchdown record when he had 50 in 2007. Peyton Manning had 55 in 2013. And from 2018 to present day, Patrick Mahomes is undisputably the best quarterback in the NFL. I am not saying Tom Brady is not the greatest quarterback of all time. Of course he is. We know that. But if you really look at it year to year, there's been plenty of years Brady has not been the best quarterback in the NFL. That's reason one, number one. Number two, a lot of Joe Schmo casuals, which there's a lot of them out there, will say, oh, Brady has 7 rings. Michael Jordan has 6. So, of course, Brady's the GOAT, right? Well, last time I checked, football was a team sport. Basketball was a team sport. Therefore, you cannot just use the ring argument and say Brady is greater than Michael Jordan because of that reason. Number one, Brady has 5 Super Bowl MVPs to Michael Jordan's 6. That's first of all. Second of all, a quarterback plays one side of 3 sides. Yes, 3 sides of the football. Of course, they play offense. They do not play defense. They do not play special teams. Please don't come to me and say special teams doesn't matter, because it does. And if I can remember correctly, Adam Vinatieri won the Patriots a Super Bowl. So please don't use that argument. And another thing, Brady has had Super Bowls where he did not play particularly well, and the Patriots still won Super Bowls. His 6th ring with New England did not throw a single touchdown in that game. 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. In my eyes, that's not a great performance. And I'm not trying to knock him, but when we're talking about GOATs, you have to nitpick here. And what about his first Super Bowl run, where they had the tuck rule, right? Throughout that entire playoff stretch, Tom Brady threw a combined 1 touchdown pass. That is not elite to me, and I would not even call that the start of Brady's prime. That's number 2. Also, Michael Jordan. This is why this is why Michael Jordan is the GOAT of GOATs. When Michael Jordan's prime, I would say his 3rd year, when he won Defensive Player of the Year in 1987, and he led the league in scoring with 37 points per game. 1987 to 1998, Michael Jordan was head and heels above the competition. There was not a close second best player in the NBA. If you could tell me who would be the close second of the Jordan era, because there really wasn't. When the Bulls started winning, he dominated the competition. Even before Scottie Pippen entered his prime, Michael Jordan was still head and heels individually above his competition, right? He had six finals MVPs, 5 regular season MVPs, and 10 scoring titles in 13 seasons with the Chicago Bulls. If you're going to ask me, that is absolutely remarkable and dominating your competition. Of course, Brady dominated, but did he dominate like Jordan did? That's the biggest difference I have in this debate. There's been year after year, Peyton Manning was the best quarterback in the NFL. Of course, Tom Brady had his share of years. He was the best quarterback in the NFL. Aaron Rodgers had his taste at it. And now Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL. So when we're looking at the GOAT of GOATs, we have to nitpick here. And that's why Michael Jordan overall is the GOAT of GOATs. There has never been a finals where he disappointed us. I mean, his first three-peat, where he was giving you 31 points per game, 11 assists in the 91 finals. In the 92 finals, he gave you over 35 a game. And how about 93 before he retired the first time? 41 points per game. He's had historic finals performances. Sure, Brady has had those Super Bowl performances, playoff runs, clutchness, right? But if we're looking at dominance, the way Jordan dominated the NBA is way more superior than Tom Brady ever dominated the NFL. If you want to use the longevity argument, that is the only case Brady really has in here. That's the only case he has in here. But we're talking about the GOAT, the greatest of all time. We're really looking at who hit the highest ceiling of all time, whose peak was the highest and was able to sustain that for a certain period of time, or extended period of time rather. And Jordan's apex is way higher than any other athlete's apex. So to answer the question, Michael Jordan is the GOAT of GOATs over Tom Brady. But that's going to wrap up my first segment back of the Falco Takeaway. Please let me know in the comment section below, who do you feel is the GOAT of GOATs, Michael Jordan or Tom Brady? And as always, thank you for watching the Falco Takeaway. Thank you for watching my content. And if you haven't already, make sure you follow the Falco Takeaway on Instagram and YouTube to check out more of my content.